is Emma Kowal. I'm an occupational therapist and yoga teacher based out of Denver, Colorado. I work mostly with an aging population with a lot of focus on dementia care and mental health. Right now, I work at a community organization where we manage people's care across the spectrum, so anywhere from people living independently to people in a skilled nursing facility and everywhere in between, which gives me the really beautiful opportunity as an OT to have a longer relationship with them. And oftentimes we're seeing them progress through different disease processes. And a lot of times, of course, dementia comes into play and in various ways, whether that's I have clients who have dementia, everything from mild cognitive impairment up until people who are no longer to meet any of their needs and need total assistance for all of their care. So I feel extremely, extremely privileged to, as an occupational therapist, to assist in all areas of their life. And I think that the brain longevity training really piqued my interest for its holistic view of aging and of dementia care. A lot of times things are so focused on, my shirt says all brains are beautiful too. So tangent, neurodiversity is super important to me across, all parts of someone's life that aging and dementia and cognition might impact. And I think it's really beautiful, the focus on prevention, as things are mostly, I'm asked to intervene as a therapist when things are, when something bad happens, when someone, hits a caregiver or elopes from their home or is no longer able to do one of their basic daily tasks or gets in an accident driving. Unfortunately, a lot of these things that we see, with people who have cognitive impairment. So I wanted to talk specifically about the kirtan kriya. I learned about this from a Kundalini yoga teacher years ago, and just through my own journey with Kundalini, I found this, of course, it was just like lights went off in my brain, and I was like, I need to learn more about that. I need to share that with the people I work with. And at the time, I was working in a psychiatric hospital in the geriatric unit, and I was able to incorporate that into, it was a weekly practice. And I would kind of just, experiment with different ways to introduce these kinds of concepts to people who, are often see yoga as this like very obscure thing that is for young, flexible, thin people, which is completely not my view of yoga. And I was, as a yoga teacher, as well as a therapist, I've always been trying to find ways to make it accessible for the people that I work with. So at the psychiatric hospital, we had introduced the practice, or I introduced the practice, the 12-minute practice, kind of experimentally, and it's just so interesting, the response and the curiosity and the general just like embrace that I noticed that clients immediately had. It was just this kind of like felt sense of this was something that belonged in their life. And the full, whether it be the full 12-minute, the full expression, or just noticing people doing the mudra, like walking around the unit as like a self-soothing measure. So this is something that I'm really interested in for stress management. As for fast forward, I'm on a different job, COVID has happened, lots of things have changed, and I'm really interested in starting a group. At my work mostly now is with families and individuals, but I'm really interested in starting a group where I can incorporate yoga for stress management, including the kirtan kriya, and offering it to the people I work with now. And so what that will look like, I'm kind of sort of trying to write a general kind of like stress management protocol where we introduce different ideas, but we create some sort of some sort of practice. And I think a lot of the things that I learned in this training kind of touch on areas that maybe I didn't learn in my OT school or my social work background, because it's kind of this other side of things, like I said earlier, where it's focusing on prevention. And even if someone does have mild cognitive impairment, this is one of my favorite things about the training that I hadn't really ever conceptualized, is that there can still be changes and there can be improvements. And I just am really excited and feel really, again, very privileged to be in a place and in a job where my creativity is really encouraged. And so that means that, like, taking concepts and running with it and seeing what sticks. So I'm hoping this group, I think we're going to focus mostly on like chronic pain management and stress management. But there are a lot of aspects of this training that can be incorporated, because I think a lot of, pretty much across the board, dementia and cognition are a concern for almost everyone I work with. So finding ways to empower people and empower caregivers to, maybe be curious about their health and about their brains in this kind of way that maybe is like a little bit uncomfortable. But I also really think that's where a lot of growth happens. So I'm so excited about the research as well. From sleep to spiritual fitness to the social fitness. Of course, the physical exercise is like bread and butter of being a therapist, or being a yoga teacher. But I really appreciate the training, the evidence behind a lot of these concepts that I can share, I can kind of take and share in this weekly group. So, and of course in individual sessions as well. So thank you so much for listening to this kind of rambling thing. I really am excited, and I'm really thankful to be part of this community. So thank you so much.